what's up, Freshman Force? I'm back with a new episode of This Week in Comics, where I'm going to be talking about This Week in Comics. And I bought a lot of books this week, and one of them I borrowed from Lindsay. Oh, let's see, let's take a look here. This week I picked up Justice League number 24. Let's see, this is the one I got from Lindsay. This is Sabrina, the Teen Witch number 2. Daredevil number 5. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 21. Let's see, Spider-Man Life Story number 3. The 80s. Riri Williams, Ironheart number 6. Black Widow number 5. And a one-shot, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Freshman Force. Alright, now let's get going here. And let's start with, let's see, let's do some reviews here. Let's go with Black Widow. And this is from the Soka sisters, Jen and Sylvia, with Flavoriano, with the art. And this is concluding. Unfortunately, this has been a mini-series. I wasn't totally aware of that when it started, so bummer, because this has been fantastic. I may review the entire mini-series coming up in the far future. And last we met our heroes. Natasha and Tiger have been able to take down the evil website. What did they call that thing? That was disgusting. No Restraints Play. They were able to take them down. They were going to go take down their leader, Fun Dad. And unfortunately, the man who calls himself the Prince of Madripoor was actually being framed. And the real Fun Dad was their hacker friend who was with them the entire time. And he set them up with the bomb, killing, unfortunately, the Prince of Madripoor. And he decided, like, hey, I'm gonna blow up, like, the kids that they rescued to cover my tracks and get going, and, like, download all the money and get going and, you know, take off. That didn't work out well for him. Natasha is able to stop the bomb, saving the kids, and is able to catch up to him. There's a there's a really lovely scene where she comes. And you see, like, a lot of violence that Natasha has done during this series, but one of the things that really kind of, like, shows you where she is she actually was able to get some Stark prosthetic arms for one of the girls who lost her arms during their torturing. Afterwards, she's able to get back to Steve, and she does one of those creepy waiting in the house things. She has a funny line about it, too. Like, you know, he asks her, like, how long have you been here? And she goes, longer than you want to know. So she essentially tells him, like, yeah, she's back, but not totally back. And there's even this moment where she's on a rooftop, seeming still a little not great. I really love this miniseries. This is 5 out of 5 Ram Chips. The art's gorgeous. The Soka sisters, this is the first time I've seen them write a comic book that I'm aware of, and I absolutely loved it. I hope they go back to doing, it would be great if they did more with Black Widow or some other comic. I'd be willing to take a look. Man, they go right into trashy pulp violence and superhero stuff and real world horror and crime, and oh boy, this was great book. Loved it a lot. Highly recommended. If you didn't pick this up in singles, find the trade when it comes out. Marvel's really quick about their trade, so this should probably be out now. And go pick it up. Highly recommend it. So let's go on to Ironheart, and this is number 6. This is by Eve Ewing and Kevin Lebranda. And by the way, gorgeous art. Love the art. Absolutely a big fan of the art on this book. This issue is dealing with Miles Morales, who has apparently gone MIA. And if you've been reading Champions, you'll know that he's been going through some crap regarding, losing people and I think it's Dubai, and also losing people at high school in that mass shooting, and feeling really pretty on terrible about himself. Not so much going on in his own book regarding that, but yeah, you kind of get the sense that he's been really troubled lately. So of course everyone's worried about him. He's been gone for almost 2 weeks. So Ironheart decides to go looking for him. She finds him at a cabin, and apparently he has no idea he's been gone that long. He's been stuck in a time loop. He's been really upset about what's been going on, so he decided to take a day or two, hang out in this cabin, and he hasn't realized he's been stuck there. And of course, it's them trying to figure out how to break out, fighting this alien mutant guy who's been kind of studying them. In a pretty cool, fun battle, by the way. I like a lot. The heart of this one is basically Riri and Miles kind of connecting, because they have a little trouble connecting with people, and that's kind of their weird connection between the two of them. That's one of the interesting things about Ironheart, is that she can come off as heartless to some people, which I think has probably put off some people in the last couple of years, that she has social issues connecting with people, pretty much regarding her past, so that's kind of understandable. And they kind of kind of become buddies a little bit more in this one. I like this one a lot. Like I said, gorgeous artwork. It's one of my favorite singles right now. Is this series, is the way it looks. Just great classic superhero art. Recommend it. I'm gonna probably give this maybe 5 out of 5. Good work. Now let's do some Spider-Mans. Let me do the regular Amazing Spider-Man first. And we're at issue 21, although it feels like 46, considering each issue seems to have an extra one that tells some backstory. And man, good lord, how many books is this thing? All right, this is Nick Spencer, and we got a different artist, Geraldo Saldival, and he is kind of replacing. Let's see. I forgot his name. But he's kind of filling in artist here, and his work looks a lot like the normal book. And I don't know how much is his personal style, or they got somebody who draws like him, or they asked him to draw more. But I mean, it has a less cartoony, a little bit more kind of stable look to it, which I love this style a lot. It's really good. I know they're bringing in a new regular artist for Spider-Man in the near future, but I would really like to see this guy jump on. Anyway, long story short, Kraven has been able to get a little army of vermin, and they've captured Spider-Man, and they put him in a room with Kurt Connors, who is the Lizard, and of course he is de-lizard right now because he has this little controller on his back, and Spider-Man has a controller on his neck that'll blow up if he touches it. And he confesses something to Spider-Man. Apparently, here's the thing, I haven't been reading Spider-Man for 10 years, so there's some shit I don't know. And apparently, during that 10 years, when Kurt Connors was the Lizard, he killed his son, and he got resurrected in a clone body, but his soul is in the clone body, so he got a second chance with his son. And that's been really messing with him, because essentially, he did kill his own son, but now he's got a chance to right the wrong he had as the Lizard, and that's made him very extra protective of him. Now he's in this situation where Kraven knows that, and he's captured him, and essentially that's kind of the plan, to get these guys in this situation where Spider-Man's dealing with Kraven. Kraven really wanted Spider-Man to kill him, and he's not killing him. And so that's kind of where he's positioning these guys. Also, the villains are dueling with all the Hunter douchebags with the robots, and the Lizard gets free at the end. By the way, excellent. Really good. I don't know how much longer this story is, but it feels like it's getting to the end. We're kind of building to the climax. Nicely paced book. I'm going to give this issue 4 out of 5 Ram Chips. Nice stuff. Now let's jump over to another Spidey book. The 80s and Life Story, number 3. Now this is from Chip Zdarsky, Mark Bagley, and this one kind of combines Secret Wars, Kraven's Last Hunt, and the symbiote storyline. Issue takes place in '84. We still get Secret Wars, and we still have Tony and Captain America fighting on the same side. So I guess since 1977, they've been able to mend fences. We still get a lot of the characters. It's nice kind of seeing like the X-Men here, Hulk, She-Hulk's here. So essentially, Secret Wars kind of turned out sort of the same for the most part. And then, of course, we get that whole thing where Spidey's suit is damaged, and he sees Hulk and Thor leave a room, going, "Hey, there's this cool like magic super science thing that fixes your stuff. Go check it out." And he picks the wrong machine, and it puts the black symbiote suit on him, just like in the original. He comes out, and he's been gone for like 3-4 weeks because he's been on this alien planet during Secret Wars, and that's when Mary Jane has been pregnant and essentially gives birth to twins. Let's see, Claire and Benjamin. During that time, he's realized that Earth was going through another crisis with the Vision. Oh boy, man, just everything's just been going to shit. So, also Aunt May is like pretty much mentally gone, and they're trying to like figure out what to do with her, and he's arguing like it's his job to take care of her, and like, you were never around, you're not taking care of her, we should put her in some sort of home to take care of her, right? Meanwhile, the suit is alive, and Spidey knows that. That's what's interesting. He's a little older here, he's a little more experienced, he has a company like he did during the Dan Slott years, so he's a little bit smarter regards to what's been going on, and he actually realizes early on that the suit's a symbiote, and he and Mary Jane come up with a plan to get rid of it. Meanwhile, Kraven does his whole Kraven's Last Hunt thing by capturing Spider-Man, shooting him, putting him in the grave, and starting to hunt people dressed as Spider-Man. Of course, that comes back to bite him in the butt when the Venom suit saves him, brings him to Venom, but Mary Jane also has been following. Man, this is great. And then, of course, it essentially leaves us with a cliffhanger of what's to come. Kraven looks like he's going to be getting the suit, and Mary Jane has left and taken the children. So the 90s is coming. So what's gonna happen there? The cover for the 90s makes Theodore look a little pudgier. So maybe he's in semi-retirement or something, because he'd be in maybe his 50s in the 1990s if he aged from age 15 in 1963. He'd probably be in his 50s by the 90s. So we'll see what's going on there. I don't know how much longer this is going to go. Are we going all the way up to the present to? So I'm hoping we'll probably see Miles in maybe one of the last issues. That would be cool. So anyway, this of course is a great miniseries. I am absolutely in love with it. 5 out of 5 Ram Chips. Spider-Man fan, go get it. Now let's go to Daredevil. Now Chip Zdarsky again. Hey, this is a Chip Zdarsky double feature with Marco Cicchetto. And I don't talk enough about this book. This book is fantastic. Let's see, we're still doing the story arc where Matt Murdock accidentally killed a thug during one of his many times going out and beating up thugs. He hit him a little bit too hard, essentially, and that's caused this whole mess of the police trying to find him, and he's still trying to fight bad guys while still kind of not great. Like, he's still kind of he's been beaten up, he's on pain meds, and he doesn't even realize he's wearing the Punisher shirt. For God's sakes. He has this fight with the Owl, and he is saved by Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and they're trying to do sort of an intervention with him, and he essentially just takes off. That's where the coolest thing happens. Spider-Man just shows up in his apartment, and he goes, "You know what? You've gone a little bit too far. You're not really yourself right now, so you're done. Give me the mask." And he's straight up serious with him. He's not jokey or anything like that. He's not apologetic or self-effacing. He is the responsibility guy here, and he is stern with him. It's great seeing him like this. and Matt gives him the mask. And we're kind of at the lowest. Well, Matt Murdock's lowest moment of this year, and what a wonderful note to end on. Now, I don't know where this. I have no idea where this series is going. I don't know what Matt's going to be doing, but this has been a great, realistic way of kind of like tearing at Matt. We've seen all kinds of ways that his life has been torn apart, and this is really believable. And this is kind of the most believable thing that could happen to him when you're doing this kind of thing. Wonderful stuff. The art is gorgeous. 5 out of 5 round chips. I don't know if anybody's talking about Daredevil, Chip Zdarsky and Daredevil, but this is a must. All right, now let's go to Sabrina, the Teen Witch, number 2. And this is the alternate cover with the cutesy Salem cover. And let's see, this is from Kelly Thompson and Veronica and Andy Fish. Now, I haven't seen the Fish artists before, but I really dig their style. It's nice and bright and colorful, and that nice mix of comic book and cartoony style that has a nice vibe to it and has a nice energy. Strong lines, but simple but not too simple. Absolutely looks great. We get to see the Auntie's underground sanctum here, which was really cool. They explained her. We didn't really get into the story. She saves her friends from, being this kind of like tied together Wendigo beastie thing, and then she fights to save them from this kind of like Cthulhu-like tentacle beast, which is good. You don't want your friends involved with that kind of thing. So she talks to her aunts about that, and they explain like, hey, there's kind of some stuff here. So they show her like all the magic things going around, and they're kind of get into her like what they're doing here. Then of course we build into essentially the next cliffhanger, where apparently one of her other friends is, I don't know if she turns him into this thing, or he is, he's secretly kind of this dragon creature thing. I love it. Nice design on that, by the way. So, man, this is really good. Oh, by the way, the next cover is really good. This is a lot of fun. I'm really digging this series. Kelly Thompson, I haven't really read too much of her stuff until this past year, and feeling kind of bad. Like, she's working a lot of great stuff right now. She's, of course, on Captain Marvel, and she was on West Coast Avengers for a while. She's doing Nancy Drew in this. Not bad. I'm going to give this probably a strong 4 out of 5 Ram Chips. Nice, fun issue. If you're digging Sabrina, it's kind of in between the sitcom and the new chilling adventures of Sabrina, right down the middle. Kind of a good comic booky Sabrina. So it's almost a superhero title in a way. All right, now let's go to the superhero title, Justice League number 24, and this is the 6th dimension. We're still in that kind of crazy crap. This is from Scott Snyder and George Jimenez. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I absolutely love George Jimenez's art. The art just jumps off the page. It's got this electric vibe to it. I can't get enough of it. Essentially, they're in sort of this future alternate Earth. As in DC, you hit those every other week, and essentially, it's been ruled by the World Forger. Who, by the way, his design is gorgeous. He's a really interesting looking character, and he's kind of been using the Justice League to build this new, like, fantastic world that they're ruling with an iron fist. The whole thing, the Justice Lord thing, and he has Batman like kind of as his trump card. Meanwhile, the Justice League has been saved by the Legion of Doom, who's like, look, everything's screwed up so bad, we got to be good guys. And there's this wonderful moment at the end where they have to escape, and the Legion of Doom are going to sacrifice themselves to save them so they can like change things. And Martian Manhunter has this wonderful speech about working together and them finding out who they can really be. And of course, like Sinestro and Jon Stewart have a really tearful goodbye, and Cheetah and Wonder Woman do as well. Gorilla Grodd says, "Flash, I still hate you." Well, yeah, because that's how it is. It's a wonderful moment. Like Wonder Woman tells her, like, you should go with us. I can't let you die. And Cheetah tells her, like, Barbara Ann died years ago. This is my way of fixing this. This is my way of surviving. And of course, I guess the big battle is next issue because we get back to the Hall of Justice and this World Forger with the older Justice League, and we're gonna fight them. And of course, looks like an even match until Batman shows up in the World Forger's final Batman suit, and man, this is gonna be a mess. 5 out of 5 Ram Chips. Good, stupid, cosmic superhero fun. I absolutely love it, and just great book. So now we have one more, one shot. I've heard about this for a while, and I decided to pick it up. It's the Alexander Ocasio-Cortez and the Freshman's Force. This is from Devil's Due Comics, and this is kind of a jam book of basically short political cartoons, mostly focused with her at the heart of these. And they range from like all different types of art styles. I can't even mention like all of them. There's so many people kind of involved with this. And they go in like really cartoony, jokey ones. There's a version of Cortez kind of being... They basically turn like Congress into like a wrestling federation where she's the new one, and she's figuring out like who the bad guys are, and you know, it's really funny. Like, let's see, there's this superhero kind of like Japanese, force of like, her in the freshman class, like, being in spaceships and attacking as a robot that transforms into them. And then at the end, it's essentially just her telling Omar, hey, we're gonna, get him. And she's going like, hey, that's great, we gotta go vote on this tax thing. It's probably the closest we get to like sort of the real world. Everything else is kind of like this crazy stuff. There's a dance party version of the fight between the right and the left, and man, they like go all in on the idea of Mike Pence being in the closet with this. There's also jokes about Fox. There's the Where's Mitch page where you have to pick his face out of this group of turtles. And there's some like neat bits there. Dance Party USA talks about like the stupid dancing controversy that somebody tried to bump on her. We have one of her as a ninja breaking into the White House to take on Trump. It turns into this tweet battle world. We have another one. There's so much stuff going on in this with all kinds of different ideas. There's a short story about her shoes during the election campaign, which oddly enough doesn't turn into fetish fuel. Let's see, and then there's a parody of the Matrix, the Matriarchy Reloaded, which actually the art in that's pretty decent. And it's not all jokes and gags. There's some like real political stuff here, talking about where the money goes in our politics, and like who supports who. That's pretty important, actually. I wish there was a tiny bit more of that in the book. I mean, there is some. It does lean a little bit heavy into political cartoony humor, which is fun. But it might have been nice to have just a little bit more of the substance. It does have it, so I would definitely recommend. Don't skip those parts. I think those are probably some of the more important parts of the book, actually, as the back pages. So check it out. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Ram Chips. It was definitely a lot of fun. It's you could kind of keep looking, and there's a lot of lots of art mixed in here. So I mean, there's a lot to see on every page. So it's definitely a fun thing to read. All right, I think that's it. Oh yeah, I'm going to do my comic of the week. And what can be my comic of the week? I'm going to probably go with Spider-Man-like story. Just a punch in the gut every issue, and this is no different. All right, what did you like? You can leave it in the comments below. Talk about what I read. If you have read any of those, let me know. And you can follow me on social media stuff like Twitter, Facebook, and you can support this channel on Patreon. I think that's it, so push the button, Lindsay.
They don't play the song on the radio. They don't show that it's on the radio. They don't know that we are the media. They don't know that we start the media. I don't want to see what I'm making you. I see some big seat and I'm checking you. Walking down the street, I'm the
We doing it?